Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, all the dear lovely mommies. We'll wait for just 2, 3 minutes more so that more participants can join and then we'll begin. In the meantime, if you can just quickly type in the chat box, are you able to clearly see me and hear me? And are you able to see my screen? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So we'll just wait a couple of minutes till everyone joins, okay? So, mommies, this is going to be bit of a technical topic today. All right. So, since we have a couple of minutes, if you wish to grab a paper and pen, you can do so. And I'll also be sharing the takeaways. I'll share a document after the session is done. You will be getting the recording for this session also on the community groups. All right. And you will also receive a document with some of the key takeaways from this session. All right. However, if you wish to note something down, you can feel free to do so. All right. So let us begin then. I think we've given a few minutes for everyone to join now. And I'm happy to see you all over here. It would be great if you can keep your videos on so that even I can see your faces and we can have more of a personalized interaction, right? Um, so how are you all doing, mommies? You can type in the chat box. Are you doing fine? Are you doing good? Feeling energetic, positive? Or feeling tired? Feeling good? Hope you had a wonderful day. All right. Great. Doing great. Okay. So Khushbu says it's her favorite topic. All right. So yeah, this is actually a very interesting topic, food labels, because this is something which can be very confusing for people sometimes. All right. So before I begin, let me introduce myself. I am Preeti Tejwani. I'm a clinical nutritionist and I've been working in this field for more than 8 years now. And I've been working with HiMom since quite some time. And I'm also a part of the womb care program, giving consultations to different mommies. All right. Uh, so to begin with, I would like to tell you that since this is a very deep topic, it's actually a very confusing topic also sometimes, and very technical things come into play. But I'll try to keep it as simple as possible for all of you. And if at all you feel that I'm going too fast, then you can just message on the chat box and I will try to take it easy on you guys. Okay. Um, all right. So, as it was already announced that the topic is navigating food labels for a healthier pregnancy. All right. If you can all, see nowadays how dependent we are on packaged and processed foods, right? It would be impractical to say that we can do without packaged and processed foods in today's world. because the world has become so fast, the pace has become fast, and we as women are assuming so many different responsibilities, right? So, because of that, it's not possible to always spend a lot of time in the kitchen, buy everything from scratch, prepare everything from scratch, and then provide it on the table for your family, right? A lot of industries have boomed in terms of processed and packaged foods, and they're advertising so many different things on the TV. You see so many different commercials, right? And the labels, food labels, the things which they claim can actually be very deceiving also. And it's becoming more and more difficult for people to understand whether a food is really healthy to consume or not. Okay, so you're spending so much money, or spending extra money on processed food, purchasing them, and then if you towards the end come to know that okay, it's not good for my health, then what? Okay, we need shortcuts in life, right? So, here's what we are going to learn today: how to bust the common food label myths and health claims. Okay, understanding nutrition symbols, codes, and ingredients list. How to read these labels, okay? How to understand what are the different codes and symbols which are mentioned on the food labels. Tips to compare and choose quality and safe products. Pregnancy safe additives, preservatives, and ingredients. So basically, I'm going to discuss the ones which are unsafe and also provide you guidelines on how you can find out whether a food, the additives or preservatives in the food are safe for you or not during pregnancy. Choosing foods based on their real nutritive value, not just on the marketing gimmicks. All right? Because many foods claim to be healthy, but they actually are not. And manufacturers can be really tricky in their food labels. So, yeah, I would like to know, mommies, what all do you check when you wish to buy any product from the market? What all are the things that you look at? You can quickly type in the chat box. All right. What are the things that you check while buying any product? Ingredients list, right, Swati? Geetanjali, no sugars or sweeteners, sugar content, sodium, ingredients, expiry, carbs, oil, preservatives, ingredients, protein content, presence of palm oil, whether it's organic or not, protein content. None of you check the price of the products? How many grams are there in the packet of the product? Do you all check the expiry date? Yes. Whether it has maida or not. Right. Yeah. So we tend to check a lot of number of things before buying any food, right? Thank you so much, mommies, for all the responses. It's really great to see you being so interactive. So here are some of the basic things which we tend to check while buying. Where to buy from? First of all, we check whether it's convenient for us to buy it from a certain place, right? Whether we want to go to the market, buy it from a grocery store, whether we want to buy it from an exhibition or from the doorstep vendor, whether we want to purchase online. Nowadays, you can purchase almost everything online, right? So we look at our convenience also. And at the same time, some of them who wish to, go out there and check the product practically and buy, we tend to do that. Some things which are not available online, we tend to go to the market and buy, right? So we check where to buy from. And secondly, what to buy. The quantity of the product, what is the quality of the product, what is the price, the expiry date, the ingredients. Of course, quality may, it comes under a lot of, different factors come under this, including the nutrient value and all, right? Do you all agree? So here, if you look at all the products that we buy online, have you all noticed such kind of symbols? Have you ever noticed such kind of labeling on the foods? Right? Do you trust these labels? Answer in a yes or no. Do you trust these labels which are given on the food products? Okay, I'm hearing a lot of no. Okay, so we have a lot of conscious consumers over here. You don't outrightly trust what is given on the labels. You tend to dig deep. What's in there, right? Okay. All right. So what happens is that many a times we go for certain products based on these marketing or the ads or the labels, but I'm just happy to see here that you are not among those. But some people who are not aware do get attracted to these labels very easily. They are made in such an attractive way. Right? And request you all to keep yourself on
पण वाकडला बघू काही वाटलं तर असंच फिरू किंवा नुसतं फिरू पण मला नको वाटतंय ते मॉलमध्ये खूप गर्दी पण आहे मला
kindly
नाही
keep
जमणार
yourself.
ते
Yes. If you can see that these labels can be very deceiving, and all the products are calling out to us from the shelves, buy me, right? Because I'm better, I'm healthier. So it leads to a confused consumer. So what are some of the common type of claims that these companies make? All right. First is the nutrient claims. It is a representation that a food has specific nutritional properties, and that is why you should buy them, such as related to the calories. This is a low calorie food, or this is an energy giving food. Proteins, this is a high protein food. Fat, this is low in fats, low in trans fats. All right, zero trans fats. Carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, all these different categories are where the nutrient claims are made. All right. And they are used to help the customers to make informed choices about the nutritional content of every food. All right. But companies can act very smart, and they can put very dicey words or confusing words or sentences or statements which does not give the whole truth about any product, right? So nutrient claims, they can either be regarding the nutrient content, or they can be nutrient comparative. So it has reduced sodium, for example. Reduced sodium compared to what exactly? Is it really a low sodium product, or it is just slightly low than the other products, but still in the high range, right? Some of the examples of nutrient claims: fat-free, low in sodium, sugar-free, reduced fat, less sodium, high in fiber, source of calcium. All these are very vague kind of statements, does not give you the whole picture, right? Do you all agree to this? Yes or no? You can type in the chat box. Yes. All right. So what are some of the other common types of claims? Health claims. Statements made about the relationship between the food and the dietary supplements or the other products and health. What are the different ways in which they affect the health? Like, for example, disease risk reduction or overall health and well-being of the individuals. This is what the health claims are about on the food products. Now, these claims should be substantially scientific. Okay, they have to be backed by scientific evidence, and they can be subject to regulations by certain bodies such as the European Food Safety Authority or the Food and Drug Administration, right? These are just a couple of examples of the bodies which are regulating these food products. So they have to show proof that whatever health claim they have made is real. The other type of claim is structure or function claims. Statements on food and supplements that describe how a nutrient or a dietary ingredient affects the normal structure and function of the human body. All right. Structure or function claims must include a disclaimer stating that FDA has not evaluated the claim. So structure or function claims are not governed by these regulatory bodies like the Food and Drug Administration or the European administration or any of the the Food and Drug Administrations of any country. All right. They do not need to show any proof. And the claim has not evaluated the claim, and the product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. This must be mentioned on the food if they are making a structure claim. If they are not mentioning that, they could fall into legal issues. All right. So what is the main difference? I know that this is very technical and might seem confusing, but this is to simplify the things. Okay. Key differences between a health claim and a structure and function claim. So the focus of health claims is on the disease or the health conditions, whereas the focus of a structure or function claim is the focus on bodily functions. I'll give you the examples. Regulation. Health claims require FDA approval, while structure and function claims do not need FDA approval. Specificity. Health claims are more specific and they require evidence of a relationship between a food and a disease, while structure or function claims are more generalized and they focus on the nutrients' effect on the body. So most of the companies find it convenient to go for structure or function claims rather than going for health claims, right? So how to identify if something is a structure claim or a health claim? Example, a health claim is omega-3 fatty acids may reduce the risk of heart disease. This is a proven scientific fact. And if that product is containing omega-3 fatty acids in a good quantity, they will definitely mention this for their marketing. Example of a structure or function claim. Vitamin C supports the immune system. So this is not going to help you to reduce any disease risk, but vitamin C helps to support the immune system. So even if the food has a small amount of vitamin C, they can mention this, that okay, vitamin C will support the immune system, and looking at that, the consumer will be like, oh, this has vitamin C, I should buy this. They don't know whether it's enough or not, and this does not require any kind of regulation from the Food and Drug Administration. So how do we bust the claims? There are many misleading, claims, and they mislead the consumers. Food manufacturers may use vague or deceptive language to make the product seem much more healthier than they are. For example, light, low fat might not reflect a significant reduction in the calories or fat compared to the standard versions of the food. So they're claiming that, but we don't know how much less the fat or the calories or whatever is there in the product, right? The impact on health. Misleading claims can lead consumers to make unhealthy choices unknowingly, and it can potentially lead to a lot of adverse health effects. All right. Someone on a weight loss will blindly go for this low fat or light kind of a food, and they'll end up gaining weight, not knowing how much, calorie reduction they are actually doing in their diet, right? Promoting unhealthy practices. So misleading claims can normalize or encourage the consumption of unhealthy food, especially among the vulnerable populations. Who are the vulnerable populations? Those who need instant options. And children, they are among the most vulnerable. They see the ads and get influenced very easily. Working population, because they need to save time, so they rely on certain foods. And one of the most worst trend, I would say, that we have been following since our childhood is biscuits. The way biscuits have been promoted to be healthy, but they are actually not, right? Now, holding food manufacturers accountable for truthful claims, and consumers can help to promote the ethical practices of these food industries by making sure that we complain to the consumer forum or the right authorities to make sure that if at all a company is making a false claim, to boycott that company or to do legal action on that company, right? The best easiest way is to not buy that product, right? Because if you don't buy it, they don't earn, right? By being vigilant and understanding what food claims mean, you can be more aware about what you're buying and what all these food claims are actually saying. We have to bifurcate that. And consumers can make more informed choices to protect their health. All right. So why do we need to read the food labels? First is to make informed choices. Second, to support personal dietary needs. For, like for example, in pregnancy, our dietary needs change, right? So if we are not aware of what a certain package of processed food is containing, then how will we be sure that we are giving the best nutrition to our baby, right? One of the ways to ensure that is also to cross check any products or packaged foods with your nutritionist, with your appointed nutritionist. This is a good thing which you have with iMums. You all have personalized nutrition care also, right? In your womb care program. So if you're doubtful about any product, have it cross-checked with your nutritionist to see whether it's good or not for your particular dietary needs during pregnancy. All right. Enhancing overall health. Okay. So if you want to promote your overall health, choosing the right products which give you the right nutrients is important. It is also important in avoiding unhealthy ingredients and preventing allergies. Many of the people have certain allergies, and this allergy information should be given on the food products, right? So that you don't end up with any kind of reaction. Understanding the basics. What is the serving size? What is the daily value, percentage value of the nutrients which are there in that product, and the ingredients list. These are the very basics. All right. Are you all with me, or is it getting a little heavy for you guys? You can answer in the chat box. So, mommy, so far what all I have mentioned, do you all check all these things? Let's go deep. Okay. All right. Great. So all the mommies are very receptive to the knowledge right now, feeling good and energized. Awesome. So nutrition symbols, codes, and ingredients list. All right. This is what we are going to discuss further. What do various symbols mean? What is INS or E code? You see that list of ingredients, not towards the end, you have a long list of numbers mentioned with INS and a 3-digit number, or E and a 3-digit number. And we don't know what in the world that means. It's just codes for certain additives and preservatives. We don't know what those codes mean, right? And then how to understand the nutritive value of any food. So, okay, here you go. These are some of the common symbols on the foods which are processed, packaged, sold in India. FSSAI, which is the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. This will guarantee basic food safety and hygiene standards. Whether the food that is being sold is hygienically prepared, and whether it is guaranteeing the basic safety of the consumer, right? So FSSAI registration number is always mentioned on the license number is always mentioned on these food products. If that is not mentioned, which means the food can be a little dicey, okay? ISI, this is also now called as the BIS, BIS, Bismarck, Bureau of Indian Standards. This specifies the compliance with definite quality and safety parameters laid by the government. So whether the food product is following, the manufacturer is following all the guidelines which are laid out by the Indian government, all right, for food safety. AgMark, agricultural mark, all right. This helps in recognizing agricultural and processed food products meeting government quality standards. Okay. Fortified, plus F sign, which you see, complements vital vitamins and minerals to a particular food. So some foods now, they have added vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, right? So which means that food is fortified. It did not naturally contain those vitamins and minerals, but it has been added to the food in the manufacturing process. So that is why that food is marked as fortified. The next is veg or non-veg. This you all must be very well aware. It indicates whether the food is vegetarian or non-vegetarian in origin. Eggs and all will have eggs, meat, animal products will mostly have the red sign, but this does not include dairy. Dairy comes under the green mark. Okay. Jaivik Bharat. Now, a lot of us have become more aware and are trying to include organic foods in our diet, right? So this is the symbol for Jaivik Bharat, which stands for organically made foods without synthetic fertilizer or pesticides. So in the manufacturing of those products, there was no fertilizer or pesticide used in the cultivation also, like in the crop, like when the plants are being grown or when those grains or ingredients are being grown in the farm, no harmful or synthetic pesticides or fertilizers were used. Then vegan, right? Vegan basically means devoid of any animal product in the food. No animal product means not even milk, not even ghee, nothing that came from an animal. That is vegan. Gluten free. What contains gluten? Mostly it is primarily wheat, but also gluten free is ideal for people who are gluten intolerant. So any product which might contain gluten, wheat products and other products which are processed in the same facility and have the chances of being contaminated by wheat, even those are excluded from here. So gluten free is strictly gluten free. This is the sign for that. All right. Now coming to the E and INS codes, the numbers. E basically stands for a European-based system, which is the naming system used for foods and food preservatives and additives. All right. INS is the international numbering system for food additives. So E and INS both are, you'll either see E or you'll see INS on the food products, depending on the whether they are using the European-based coding system or the international numbering system. All right. So what is the purpose? This offers an alternative to lengthy and sometimes complex chemical names. So the names of these additives and preservatives can be very long and it will not fit in the food label. They'll have to make it so tiny that it will not be legible, right? A food product has a limited amount of space on the package to print a lot of things. There are so many things they have to print. So they give these codes to the different additives and preservatives. It's a short form basically to understand that this all has been added in the product. All right, so it ensures the consistency in labeling across different countries and regions, making it easier for consumers to understand what is in their food. So these are basically certain standards. This is common for all the products and everything which are sold all over the world. These codes will apply. Okay. What is the origin? The European Union, EU, approved food additives are written with a prefix of E. And the INS system is defined by the Codex Alimentarius Commission, which was formed by the Food and Agricultural Organization and WHO, World Health Organization. Okay, so the INS system comes from FAO and WHO, and the E sign, E code comes from the European Union. Okay. So the E and INS codes may not, every E code will not have a same product with INS code, but many of these numbers correspond. So if you see something which has an E code and then you search it, then the INS code of that product will also be the same number. All right, I'll think the next slide will make it more clear for you. Okay, so E 100 to 199. If you see E and INS 100 to 199, this stands for the colors which are added. 200 to 299, INS or E, it stands for the preservatives which are being added. 300 to 399 stands for the antioxidants, acidity regulators which are added to your foods. E400 to 499 stands for the thickeners, stabilizers, emulsifiers which are added to the food. 500 to 599 stands for acidity regulators, anti-caking agents. I'll be giving this to you in the document. 600 to 699 for the flavor enhancers. E700 to 799 stands for the antibiotics, if they are being used in your product. So you can see what a huge cocktail of additives and preservatives and everything is available in the market to be added to the foods, right? And why are they being added? Naturally, because you cannot make fresh food, and if you're selling them in the market, you need to improve or maintain either the appearance of the food, the taste of the food, the texture of the food, integrity and safety of the food, nutrient value, as well as the shelf life. So the companies have to look at all these things, and that is why they are having to use these different additives and preservatives to put their product out in the market, right? So I think, yeah, I already did this. Yeah. So if you look at this, this is a typical food label, which you will see. Now we'll come to the nutritive value. Okay. The additives and preservatives, later on, I'm going to give you a list of a few basic ones which are not safe for you during pregnancy. But before that, we'll discuss the nutrient part. This is what we all, I think you all answered that you do take a look at, right? When you buy any food product. So what are some of the information which are given here? What is the serving size? Number of servings in that packet, right? What is the size of one serving? How many grams, right? Then the calories are mentioned. Then the percentage daily value also is mentioned nowadays. Then the nutrients, what all nutrients they contain, right? All this is mentioned over here. So this, there are also, like, the nutrients and the bifurcations mentioned in grams of all these things. If you can see, it's written in grams over here, right? And then how much of percentage daily value. Now, what is this percentage daily value also I'll discuss with you. So food labels contain nutritional facts. This panel, it is displayed on all the food products, right? The key elements of the nutrition facts panel are serving size, how much is the content, right? How much is one serving of that food? So one packet of any food will not necessarily have one serving. It may have multiple servings of that food in that package. Calories. This means the energy provided by one serving of food. Nutrients. What are the list of key nutrients which are present in this food? Fat, saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterol, sodium, carbs, fiber, sugar, added sugars, proteins, vitamins and minerals, what all is present in that food. Percentage daily value. This shows how much of a nutrient in a serving contributes to a daily diet based on 2000 calories. So anyone who is following, like, this is a basic, generalized guideline that a moderately active individual needs 2000 calories in a day, right? So out in that 2000 calorie diet, how much protein do they need? How much carbs do they need? How much fat do they need? How much of the all the different vitamins and minerals do they need? And that particular food, how much of those nutrients does that food provide out of the daily requirement of an individual? So if I have a requirement of, say, 1000, say I have a requirement of 60 grams of protein in a day, that is my daily value, right? And if I'm getting 6 grams of protein from a certain food product, it means that the daily percentage daily value of that food is 6%, is 10%, because it is giving me 10% of the total protein which is required. Now, Gopi is asking how much calories are safe to consume daily. It varies person to person. Whether that person is sedentary, moderately active, highly active, pregnancy, whether you are underweight, overweight, or in the normal weight range at the time of your conception, all right? So all those factors. So your nutritionist can basically answer how many calories you should consume in a day and how many of those various nutrients that you need. All right. So this is a general based on 2000 calorie diet. This is what the label calculates in any of the foods. Now, what to look for on the label? Start with the serving information, then check the total calories, then limit the certain nutrients, get enough of the beneficial nutrients. Okay, so limit certain nutrients, which means which are not needed, you should limit. They should be in a limited quantity. And those which are beneficial should be in a good enough quantity. And then understand what is the percentage daily value. Now, this is a very simple thumb rule which you all can use while reading all the food labels, which will make it absolutely simple for you to understand whether that food is nutritive or not. Okay. What is the 5-20 rule on the food labels? As a general guide, 5% of daily value or less of any nutrient in that food is considered as low. Anything between 6 to 19% is considered as moderate. And 20% or more is considered as high. Okay, that this nutrient is high in that food. All right. If it is high, the good nutrients should be in a higher quantity, but not the fats and sugars and all the sodium and all that should not be more than 20% of the daily value. Okay, and the good things like vitamin C, proteins, fiber, these should not be less than 5%. I hope this is very simple. Now, what is the 10-10-5 rule? This is another thing which will help you understand how to identify whether the calories, proteins, everything is fine. So, general guideline says that look at the average quantity per 100 grams. So, you'll have the 100 grams column also on the food label, right? So, in 100 grams of any food, how much are the nutrients? In 100 grams, there should always be less than 10 grams sugar, less than 10 grams fat, and more than 5 grams fiber. If it has this, then at least you are looking at the calories in the right direction. Okay. So this will be a good healthy combination. Now, tips for understanding and using the food labels. So use the per 100 gram column. Okay, instead of going the per serving, because serving size could be 25 grams or 30 grams or 60 grams, depending on food to food. So every time you cannot be calculating, right? So the easiest way to calculate is look at the 100 grams column. Most processed food labels contain a per serve column as well as a 100 grams column. So the serving size varies, so it's better to read the 100 grams column. Okay, sugar. Most of the products have written the sugar in grams. So 1 teaspoon of sugar is equal to 4 grams. And it is recommended by the World Health Organization and all the, different nutrient, the bodies which are there. Indian Dietetic Association, there's that. They say that not more than 12 teaspoons of sugar a human being should consume in a day. If you're exceeding that, you're in trouble. However, I would say even this 12 teaspoons is very high for a woman who is pregnant and who needs a healthy weight gain. So I would say not more than 5 to 6 teaspoons in a day. And for those who are diabetic, it has to be 0. All right. So make sure that you're looking at the sugar content. 15 grams or more is considered very high. Anything under 5 grams per 100 grams of the product is considered as low. Now, looking at the salt, this is also very important because we are seeing in pregnancy chances of high blood pressure, right? Yeah, refined sugar, 5 to 6 spoons. Overall sugars, the total sugars you have to look at because sugars can be direct or indirect. So you have to look at the total sugar content, Khushbu. Okay. So then coming to the salt, like I said that high sodium diets lead to high BP, preeclampsia and pregnancy, right? So you have to be very careful about the total sodium intake in your diet. And it is said that not more than 5 grams of salt should go in our body in one day. Those who are having high BP, we restrict it to 3 grams even. Okay. So not just that food product, but also the other foods which we are eating in the entire day, right? Natural sugars also, it varies, okay, Monali? So total sugars, I'm looking at total sugars, natural or unnatural. So salt, you should aim to eat no more than 5 grams of salt or sodium in a day. Salt is added to many different foods, not just these food products. So if a food product is containing less than 120 mg of sodium per 100 grams is good. And those foods which are containing more than 600 milligrams per 100 grams are very high sodium foods. I would always say aim at any food which has 120 mg or less of sodium when you choose your food products. Looking at saturated fats, there are types of fats basically. Not all fats are same, not all fats are good, not all fats are bad. Okay, so unsaturated fats, they do not increase our risk of heart disease, whereas saturated fats, they increase our risk of heart disease. Okay, so always see that the unsaturated fats are present, but the saturated fats are in a very less or minor percentage. All right. So remember that too much of fat will cause a lot of weight gain and heart issues. Now looking at the further points, what are the tips to understand and use food labels? Mommies, you all are with me? You need a 2 minutes break or should I continue? You can type in the chat box. Are you all with me? Am I getting too technical or too fast? Okay, all right. Awesome. Thank you so much. So here are the tips for understanding and using the food labels. Look at the ingredient list, right? Compare the products, one product from the other. Any brand will have a number of products, and for those types of products, you will surely see some other brand also. So compare the two brands, read their food labels and see. Remember the 3 S's: sugar, sodium, saturated fat, and choose the item with the least amount. Okay? Watch out for allergens. Many a times there may be traces of certain allergenic products. So even having that food, even though it's in a tiny quantity, it could lead to an allergic reaction. Many a times they have this sentence written, processed in the same facility as dash dash dash. Like for example, processed in the same facility as wheat or same facility as nuts. So if you're allergic to nuts, don't go for foods which have something like that written. And of course, the common allergens which are there: nuts, dairy, gluten, eggs, and soy. These are very common foods which people have allergies towards. So if any food product is containing these, it is mandatory for them to mention if they have these in them. Okay. Now coming to those different additives and preservatives, like I promised that I'll give you a list of ones which you really need to avoid during pregnancy because they are potentially harmful. One is artificial sweeteners because they may lead to a cancer risk for babies. Sugar alcohols like sorbitol, xylitol, mannitol, they can cause digestive discomfort, and many of these may have long-term heart health implications. All right. So they are not only harmful for the baby, but also for the mommy. Artificial sweeteners. Second, parabens, phthalates, and BPA. They are known to disrupt the endocrine system, which can affect the glucose metabolism, increase the risk of gestational diabetes, and these are often found in plastics, cosmetics, and food packaging material. So it's not just what is inside, it is what it is being packaged in, what is carrying that food. All right, so be very cautious. Artificial colors and flavors. Phenolene yellow, indigo carmine, Ponsue 4R are generally recommended to be avoided. MSG, also called as monosodium glutamate, is something which we all know. This is a flavor enhancer and it can cause adverse reactions in some individuals, and this will also cause high BP. Okay, so those of you who have to restrict sodium, restrict MSG also. So in pregnancy, these are a no-no. Nitrates, nitrites, they interfere with the thyroid hormone production, the blood's ability to deliver oxygen to the body, and it is also linked with gastrointestinal and nervous system cancers. Can you believe it? And a lot of our food products contain these things, right? Found and cured or processed meat. Found in cured or processed meat, such as, salamis, sausages, all those, packaged or canned meat which we get, it is found in those, including deli meat. Okay. So all these different packaged meat products which we're using mostly contain nitrates or nitrites. Other products are sodium benzoate. This is used in carbonated beverages, your, all those fizzy drinks which we are used to, and it is also used in fruit juices, the packaged fruit juices. And if you have heard that your nutritionist say that, no, don't go for packaged juices, then she's right, because packaged juices might contain these things. May increase the risk of cancer when combined with certain acids. Formaldehyde, a preservative, it has been linked to the increase of cancer risk and spontaneous miscarriages. So be wary, there should be no formaldehyde. Triclosan, an antibacterial chemical which can reduce thyroid hormone levels and are crucial, the thyroid hormone is very crucial for fetal development. So triclosan can hinder the fetal development. High fructose corn syrup, trans fat, sodium sulfites, all of these are also, as we all know, lead to very much weight gain, heart disease risk increases, right? Blood pressure increases, gestational diabetes people, be very careful. High fructose corn syrup is very harmful for you. Perfluoroalkyl chemicals, PFCs, may reduce the immunity of the mother and the baby. Low birth weight, fertility issues. This affects the thyroid system as well. And it is found in grease-proof paper and cardboard food packaging. And because the foods are packaged in this, even if the content, nutrition content of the food is good, but because it is packaged in this, it will cause a problem. So when you use those instant popcorn packages, which you have to just pop in the microwave, even non-stick pots and pans, the Teflon coating which it has, they contain this PFCs, which are very harmful for you and your baby. Perchlorate. The problem, it is known to disrupt the thyroid function, early life brain development and growth of the baby. Found in some dry food packaging, especially high in bologna, salami, and rice cereal, the packaged breakfast cereal which you get, and these packaged meats also which you get, the processed meats. So what should I eat? Air, this will be your question, I'm sure, right? What should I eat if I have to avoid all these cocktails of chemicals? Learn to read the labels. Okay. When you see those codes, INS or E codes, right? Always Google it. You're good at Googling, all of you, I know, and you always cross question your doctors, your nutritionists, and everyone that, this is not good for me. That it's a good habit, but to a certain extent. So use it the right way. When you're buying any product, those codes, you can Google and you'll see what does that code mean, which chemical does it contain, and then you'll know. All right. So buy and serve more fresh or frozen fruits and vegetables with fewer processed foods, especially during pregnancy. Frozen foods are okay. You can cook and blanch and freeze the foods yourself. You don't need to buy from the market all the time. Make your work easy. Buy fresh, cook fresh as much as possible. Okay? A weekend prep session will really make it easy for you to handle your cooking throughout the week. Since heat can cause plastics to leak BPA into the food, BPA and phthalates come into the food when you heat process certain things. Avoid microwaving food or beverages in plastic containers. Instead, use glass, stainless steel to reheat your foods wherever possible. Replace plastic with glass and stainless steel. Avoid plastics with recycling codes 3, 6, and 7. Phthalates, styrene, and bisphenols. Unless they are labeled, so the package of the food should be labeled as bio-based or greenware. This will help to reduce the leaching of these products into the food which you're consuming. Wash your hands thoroughly to avoid any kind of infections. So before and after touching the food, you have to wash your hands. Clean all the fruits and vegetables which cannot be peeled. So if you want to have it whole, then you have to clean it, wash it thoroughly, and then use it. All right. These are some basic things. The more you cook at home, the more you eat fresh, the healthier your pregnancy will be. Have a home-based diet. Try to eliminate as much of these packaged and processed foods as possible. Cross-check with your nutritionist. If you want to consume a packaged or processed food, cross-check with your nutritionist, but also you yourself need to learn how to read these labels. All right, mommies, So now it's game time. Are you all willing for a quiz? Are you all excited for a quiz? You can type in the chat box. Yeah, sure. I hope I'm not bugging you with this. It's like a little exam which I'm giving you towards the end of the session. Okay, all right. I'm happy to see all the yeses over here in the chat box. So it's game time. Now I'll tell you the rules first, okay? I'm going to display the question. Whoever answers most accurately and most quickly is the winner. Okay, there are no awards at the end, but at least I'll come to know that yes, I did a good job with this presentation, right? So try to answer more accurately and as fast as possible. I will count to 5 or 10 max. All right. Fresh fruits and vegetables only. What about proteins? Proteins are there in dals, pulses, and all. You can cook those, na? You can wash them, soak them, cook those. You can make homemade paneer. There are so many ways to include all those foods. Right, Shikha? I'll keep some time for questions and answers after this quiz, definitely. I'll not leave you guys hanging, okay? So let's begin with the quiz then, all right? 1 second. Yes. So the first question, identify the symbol. Quickly type in the chat box, mommies. What does this symbol mean?
Fortified, fortified.
Fortified. Perfect, perfect. Very nice. Shikha, you answered first. Very good. Shikha Jain answered first and correctly. Very good. I'll go on to the next question. Is this a pregnancy safe food? And you need to give the answer with the reason. All right. Read the label carefully. I'm giving you some time. I know that you have to identify the things over here. There's a long list here. Anu and Kangsha are saying no, but I need the reason. I said answer with reason. Why is it not a pregnancy safe food? Okay, it has artificial color, artificial flavors. Anything else you all have? Sodium is not bad as long as it's in a limited quantity, but here the quantity is not mentioned. Okay, no monosodium glutamate. Very good. Very good job, mommies. So I think I'll go with the Shikha again because she's mentioned with reason, artificial color, right? And I'll also go with who is administrator because of maltodextrin. And then there is Revika who has answered artificial color and flavor, and Kaveri has said no monosodium glutamate. So all four of you are correct, and you've given the variety of reasons why it is not a pregnancy safe food. Very good job. Corn syrup. Okay. Yes, so that there were so many bad products in that, right? A lot of bad ingredients. This is the next question. Is this a health claim or a structure or function claim? Is this a health claim or a structure or function claim? Okay, a lot of mommies have answered structure claim. Only a couple of them answered correctly. It's a health claim. So who is administrator? Administrator, I can see here in the chat box as your name. And there's Lucy and yeah, I think only two of you answered correctly that it's a health claim. And yes, then Akanksha and Swati also answered. So the reason why it's a health claim is because it is claiming that it is reducing a certain health risk, right? That is why it is a health claim. Is this food a good source of iron? Answer with reason, mommies. I want you to give me the answer with reasoning. Is this a food which is a good source of iron? This will need some thought. Answer with reason, please. Is this food a good source of iron? Yes or no? And why? All right, I think I've got a few enough, like I've got sufficient answers. Though, so the answer is that yes, it is a good source of iron because it has 45% daily value, percentage value. So it is more than 20%. So it is a very good source of iron for sure, right? Who answered first? I think accurate answer would be by Kansha because she said that yes, more than 20%. Swati said no, more than 20%, and Revika said yes, more than 5%, which are both not 100% correct answers. So the 100% correct answer is Kangsha's. Yes, more than 20% iron. That's why it's an iron-rich food. Identify the symbol, mommies. Come on, quickly, quickly identify what is this symbol. Vegan, organic, Jaivik Bharat. Anu, you have answered correctly. This is Jaivik Bharat. Yes, yes, this stands for organic, but organic symbols can be different for different countries. This is specifically the Jaivik Bharat symbol, which is used in India. All right, so very good job there. This is another question. Is this a health claim or a structure or function claim? Swati Shika saying function, structure, function. Khushbu saying health. Structure and function are one and the same thing, okay? So you can mention structure and function together and health separately, okay? Structure and function is the same thing. Okay, so I think the first correct answer is Swati. She said that it's a structure claim. Why? Because this is saying what function in the body does it promote? So it helps maintain cardiovascular function, right? So this is a structure claim. It is not saying that it helps to prevent certain diseases. It is claiming that it helps with certain things, all right? That it is promoting certain things. So that is why it is a structure of function claim, all right? It is not a preventive thing which it is doing. All right. Now, the daily value percentage sodium is high, moderate, or low in this product. Please answer along with the reason. Along with reason, mommies. Whoever answers with reason, they get the first. There's no prize, but they win. Okay, I think with reason, Kansha has answered high because it is more than 20. You're very correct. Very good, Kamsha. This is the, I think, second correct answer which you gave in this quiz, right? Awesome. Doing a great job. Okay, mommies. Yeah. So if you can see here, the sodium is 37%, right? Which is more than 20%. So because, and then see, it is 850 mg. Again, you can read here. So it is more than 600. So it is not a good, food when it comes to the sodium content. Now I'm ready for the questions and answers. The quiz is done. Well done, mommies. Very good job. I'm so happy to see that you were all paying so much attention to the session. I know that it was very, technical, but you all got it right. Awesome. So let me take all the questions now. I'll give 5 to 10 minutes for all the questions and then we'll end this session. All right. So Gopi is asking, being a pure vegetarian, we have less options for omega-3. How to include omega-3? Can we take medicine? Medicine, so you have to get it prescribed by the doctor. However, it's not necessary. If you're a pure vegetarian, nuts and seeds will give you good omega-3. Also, pure cow's ghee will also give you good omega-3. Shikha is asking, how can we understand the E and INS codes better, and also the list of preservatives, etc. So it's a very huge list, Shikha. All right, it is not a short list. It has N number. If you can see that there are thousands of products, hundreds of products, almost 1,000 of these additives and preservatives. So whenever you see an E or I with a 3-digit number on any of the food product, you Google that code and you will understand what is the ingredient, what is the chemical used. Then you can quickly search, is this chemical or is this chemical safe during pregnancy? Now the Food and Drug Administration, all these different governing bodies now, they give a certain percentage that in this much percent, it is safe to add these to the certain food products. But the companies never mentioned how much percentage is being used. So it's better to altogether avoid those chemicals, right? All right. Shikha is also asking, protein requirement is 60 to 70 grams per day. Dals, pulses, veg, milk together don't help reach the requirement. It's a struggle to cover the difference. I can understand. You know, when you cut down the overall carbs in your diet, then you have more space in your tummy to eat the protein-rich foods. That is point number one. So your nutritionist can help you with the balanced diet. Secondly, there are some very good quality pregnancy safe protein supplements also which are available in the market, right? Nowadays they are coming up. Earlier, not all of them were very safe. So you can definitely ask your clinical nutritionist, your assigned nutritionist, which supplement you can take. Aparna is asking, can we have frozen or cut vegetables? Yes, of course, as long as they are hygienically prepared, washed thoroughly. If they are blanched, blanching means removing from hot water for a few, seconds, so that it gets partially cooked and all the bacteria and microorganisms get killed. So when you blanch it and then you cool it and freeze it, let it stay frozen. When you use frozen products, don't keep them out of the fridge for a very long time. Let them thaw completely and then freeze them again. Then remove it, thaw it completely, then freeze it again. Like, for example, packet of green peas, right? You get a 1 kg packet, you want to thaw the entire peas and then refreeze it, it will become harmful for your health. So you have to break pieces of how much you want to use and let the remaining of it remain frozen. Don't thaw it and freeze it again and again. You can just use the right rules for using the frozen and cut vegetables. Akanksha is saying, ma'am, please tell, more than 20% sodium is not good for me. Right, it's not good for you. It's better to always go for less quantity sodium. So overall in your diet, not more than 3 grams of sodium should go in. All right. So even the cooking salt, the table salt which you're using, you can go for a low sodium iodized salt for your cooking. Measure out the salt before adding it to the foods, and it is best for you to avoid the packaged and processed foods if you have been advised sodium restriction in your diet. Will this also apply to cosmetics like lip balm? Yes, some of the BPA and all those different chemicals which are there in the packaging and all, it is applicable for lip balm because we do this a lot now. Or when we sip some water, then naturally those products are going in our body. Always use organic, natural kind of cosmetics also. Frozen peas can be taken. Yes, they can be taken as long as you're following certain rules. Is ormat powder, which is used in Chinese cuisine, safe during pregnancy? If so, how much can be taken safely? I'm really not sure what this powder is. I'm really sorry, Kaveri, but I will definitely search this, look it up, and I'll try to give you the answer for this. Okay. Can we eat organic noodles and pasta? Of course you can, as long as you try to look at the overall fiber content also. You can go for millet-based, whole wheat, multigrain kind of noodles and pasta rather than going for the ones made with refined wheat flour. Can prawns be taken during pregnancy? Yes, you can eat prawns. You can have even once in a week. These are small, crustaceans which are not very high in mercury. So you can eat prawns, not an issue. Which salt is better, black or white? See, black salt, when we go for it now, it is low in sodium definitely, but it is not always iodized. So even if you're using black salt or Himalayan salt or pink salt, make sure that you're purchasing a salt which is fortified with iodine. The Indian, crops and all, the soil is low in iodine, and that is why we don't get enough iodine from our food naturally. And that is why the thyroid issues are very common in India. That is why the government said that you should, that the table salt, the common salt must be fortified, which we are using in our regular cooking, so that we end up getting iodine at least through the salt that we consume. Salt is something which people cannot do without in their food, right? So it is being the most essential thing, let it be fortified with iodine. So always go for a salt which is fortified with iodine. Any low sodium salt, be it white or black salt, which is low in sodium and iodized. Excuse me. Khushbu is asking, have started with palm sugar. Is it the safest alternative to refined sugar? Not really. Palm sugar, jaggery, regular sugar, honey will more or less have the same calories. So if you're looking in order to control the calories that you're having, then having the equal amounts of palm sugar is not going to help. All right. So the best way to help your taste buds is by reducing the added sugars and to replace it with natural sugar. So when you're having a sweet craving, might as well have a fruit rather than having something which contains sugar. You can always use a low calorie safe sweetener. So you can get that list from your nutritionist. What are the different kind of low calorie or no calorie alternatives which you can use to regular sugar? Can mangoes be taken during pregnancy? It's a relative thing. If you're having gestational diabetes, it could lead to spiking of your sugars. If you're not having diabetes, you can have mangoes in moderation. Go for the organic ones. Make sure that they're not chemically ripened. All right. So you can have one mango each day if you don't have any other health concerns. Again, talk to your nutritionist to make sure. All right. So, Anisha is asking, can I eat pomegranate in gestational diabetes? Yes, any fruit in moderation can be eaten except for banana, chiku, mango, grapes, jackfruit. You'll get a list of these, fruits to be avoided from your nutritionist also. But yeah, pomegranate is among the good fruits to have during gestational diabetes. How to satisfy sweet taste buds? Sugar and jaggery both are not good, asks Gopi. So I said that you can go for fruits as a good, way of reducing your sweet cravings. Even dried figs are a good alternative. Is Himalayan pink salt better than regular iodized salt? Not if it is not fortified. It has to be fortified with iodine. Only then it is better than your regular iodized salt. If you don't have iodine in your salt, it will cause thyroid issues. Is Senda Namak recommended? I think I'm just answering the same question, but in different ways, right? So again, your answer is go for any low sodium iodized salt. Okay. I'm not going to promote any brands or anything. I'm not going to suggest any brands, but you can definitely cross check with your nutritionist. All right. So I hope that I've answered enough questions. Thank you so much, mommies, for being so interactive. And I will end the session over here. Next time we'll meet again. If we have any other session, you'll definitely get the announcement on your groups.
Yes.
Take care, mommies. Wish you all the very best. Lots of love and blessings.
Yes, thank you so much, Preeti, for such a wonderful session. And I hope everybody enjoyed the session and got all the queries answered. Please do take a few minutes to share your feedback in the feedback form that will be shared in the community group. And yes, thank you for staying throughout the session and answering such wonderful questions. Thank you, Preeti, for having so much patience and taking the session so wonderfully today. We learned so much from you. And it is such a pleasure to have you with us. We look forward to many, many more sessions with you. Okay, bye everybody. Have a great evening. Good night.